Hi everyone, welcome back. So, Dratlo44 here. So basically, I today wanted to just re-elaborate on some things that I had posted on another video. So, there was a couple of details when I watched it back that I wasn't as happy with and felt maybe needed explaining a little more. And I just wanted to cover that and some other things for you, which hopefully will help in regards to Apex, in helping you getting more kills and staying alive for longer and all those things. But before I get into it, do remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. Right, let's get into certain things. So decision making kind of comes into this as well. I have done a video as regards to decision making. As you can sort of see there, I realized that there's someone behind the pillar. I then shoot them. I knock them down. Now, I don't thirst for the kill. I go for the med pack heal. You can see that one mistake I'm making is actually using the wheel. Now, it doesn't sound much, but it takes a bit longer, which I'm going to go into a little bit at the end of the video. But I realise that he's low on health. Although he's knocked down my colleague, I know I can go for the revive. And I know that there's no one around. Now, I normally would recommend healing, but there's no one around. I know there isn't, so it's absolutely fine. Now, waiting for the right moment in regards to taking your moment to attack an enemy. Big one. Now, a lot of the time, we all like to run in the minute we see enemies and try and thirst and go for that kill. But realistically, sometimes, you know, when there's two squads fighting, why would you want to go and like throw yourself in amongst two other squads? Because likely they're going to focus on you, you're going to get crossfired, and then you're going to get killed, which is really, really unfortunate. Now, in this particular clip, I had just revived my friend. I was waiting as well, for the right moment. I say, right, let's push. We know that one of the teams has won their battle, so then of course you're waiting for the moment. Now, I know that the Havoc's got disgusting recoil now, which actually I'm happy with. I like, so I didn't mind. I just didn't pick my shot, and of course then my friend throws down the ultimate out of smoke, and I go for some shots. Did miss some. He ducked cover, so I used the smoke to my advantage. Always use your surroundings as best as you can. Between the two of us, we managed to down one of them, which is fine, and then I used my ultimate to then finish off the other one as well. Now, like anything, it is a bit risky when you're reloading. I'd always recommend jumping, and of course then we push for, of course, the down, which is fantastic. You will again see that I'm using the wheel. It's a horrible habit, and I would definitely recommend to stop doing this as much as you can, because it will save you time when healing, of course, but all good. Okay, so the next thing then is trying to stay away from fighting in buildings. Now, if you are a legend that excels at fighting in buildings, I'd say like Caustic, obviously, Revenant to an extent, and so on, then of course, very good. But otherwise, try and keep your fights sort of like outside as much as possible. Now, it doesn't mean to say you don't push or don't go into buildings. That's obviously not always the way. It's just picking your moments. Buildings are very much more restricted. It means people can throw grenades. They're harder to dodge. They can team shoot you and all these things. Now, fighting outside, the big advantage is you have a lot more space around you, and you could also use the different surroundings to actually gain cover, to gain the advantage. Obviously, in an ideal sense, you can have a height advantage, but it doesn't always matter. As you can sort of see in this clip, I managed to still knock one down. Of course, then the next one starts firing at me. And of course, I use my ultimate to then finish him off as well, because he's confused. He doesn't know which one is me. Now, straight away, this is one thing I'll do. I'll use the building, this small building, to duck cover, of course. And in Marge's case, I'll usually throw out a decoy just to, of course, you know, just have something just to shoot for them to shoot at, just in case, of course, of that. But yeah, I mean, like regarding that, I would definitely try and stay well away from fighting in buildings as much as possible. Now, picking your moments, again, this is a great one. So in an ideal sense, you would of course you know, pick your moments. You can see I downed someone there, brilliant. Now, one of the mistakes I make in this particular clip is that I then push, and I shouldn't. We should have let the legend, which is a lifeline, actually come to us. Now, I have an alternator. I know a lot of people are speaking very highly of it. I'm not that impressed with it, but maybe that's just on console. It's not a weapon I would pick over another one. However, you can see I pushed, I put myself into a bad position, my teammate is not with me, and I get downed. Now we put ourselves into a situation where I'm now down, and what does he do? Does he try to go for the revive? I'm telling him on mic, don't go for the revive, just try and get the kill if you can. Unfortunately, he hasn't healed his shield, so it is a little bit dicey, but it's one of those things. Now, but me being out the fight, this means that if anyone third parties, this is even worse. So it's like anything. It really is a very, very bad situation, and one I would definitely recommend avoiding, just to try and do it. And exactly that. My friend, he gets the 2 kills, fantastic, but we get third partied, and the result is we get eliminated, unfortunately, because he hasn't had a chance to heal up, he can't shield swap, and of course we die as a result, which is unfortunate. So shield swapping, this is another key thing, and finishes. These are the 2 things that I just wanted to cover a little bit more. Now, of course, with finishers, if you can get time to finish someone, and you get a chance to do that, I would definitely do so. Now, I'd seen that the other person had actually run out, and I realised he wasn't about. He obviously had no weapon, so I then go for the finisher, and I get the shield recharge without having to heal any shields. Always make sure that your weapons are reloaded, of course, like I said before, and make sure that you're healing up if you've got any syringes or anything like that. Now, one of the big things is waiting your moment, and sometimes this is easier said than done. Of course, like anything, it is just a case of getting used to the timing. And shield swapping, I would never be afraid to shield swap. So if you've got a blue shield, but there's a white shield nearby and you're fighting an enemy, do not be afraid to pick up that white shield. If you've lost your blue shield and then there's a white shield nearby, pick that up to fight the enemies and go back and take the blue, when you've got time to heal up the shields. Now, unfortunately, in this particular clip, I see the Pathfinder, I miss some shots, I go for the reload, and I stupidly waste some bullets around the cover because he ducks cover, and I try punching him to death. Unfortunately, I die. Silly judgment on my part, but hey, it's one of those things. So the last parts then was just to cover about the healing wheel and the speed and just the other parts, just in a little bit more detail. Now, I would recommend to watch my other video, which I'll link in the description below. It'll make a lot more sense. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing an arc star then and making sure I'm getting hit by it to, of course, drop the shield down and to take some damage on my health as well. Now, what I'll do then is I will shoot, of course, the dummies, just to, of course, gain some thing. As you can see, when I fire very fast, I do miss some shots, to be fair. So what I do tend to prefer is actually just burst firing a lot of the time. It's a lot more accurate, which again is something that not always people do. That's why I use the Hemlock a lot, but I do tend to try and do it burst fire with a lot of other guns. You can see how more accurate you can be in hitting your shots. Anyway, so what you can do is that when, of course, you set the med pack to up, you can then press up, and this will actually take a total of 10 seconds. Shield, you can set while you're actually healing, so you can press up and hold the menu again and do that, and it actually then takes 6 seconds, which is really good. So it's just a little way of kind of like programming it to actually change while you're actually healing. You can go back onto the wheel, select the shield or whatever, and do it that way. I'd always recommend, if you've got big shields, to actually heal the shield first and then do the med pack. I know I've done it in the wrong way in order in the video, but I would recommend doing the shields first and then the health. The big shield batteries take less time than a med pack does. That's the reason why. Now, as you can see, I'm then repeating the process, and this is just showing you actually how long it takes if you then select the wheel, compared to, of course, selecting it on the quick options. It sounds so daft, but it does make such a huge difference in terms of battle. Now, as you can see there, I've managed to do that, which is great. If I pick the wheel, I select the shield now, instead of it being 6 seconds, like I said in my previous video, it now takes 9. If I then select the med pack from the wheel and then select the med pack, this actually now takes between 12 and 13 seconds. I timed it, I believe it's 13 seconds, so it's an extra 3, which can make a huge impact and difference in terms of battle there. So for the last part of my video then, this was just a little thing in regards to bunny hopping that you can do. It is slightly an advanced technique, something that is hard to master. It takes a bit of practice, and maybe if you find it really easy, great, but I know that a lot of people find this a little bit of a struggle. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting a Phoenix kit, of course, on the wheel there. I'm going to slide down this hill. The idea of this is to, of course, heal and keep moving, which I always say, always keep moving in my video, or never stop moving, but of course, you know, this is something that is really good if you can pull it off, and it is worth mastering. It takes a bit of practice, definitely you can get it wrong, as you can see in my clips. Even with me, I've done this quite a lot, and it can still sometimes, it can be a bit buggy at times, it can sometimes not do it. This is a prime example. So this, all intents and purposes, is exactly the example I'd like to have give. I was bunny hopping around. It means I can keep moving, especially while the storm, but then it cancels. I don't know why it did that, actually. It was really strange. So with this one then, it literally, I take it and attempt again, and of course it has, for some reason it cancels. I don't know why, but the idea is that you can press up on the D-pad to start healing, and then as you do that, you then start pressing X, in my case, to jump, or whatever button it is to jump. And the idea is that then it means that you will bunny hop and you will continue jumping, and you will fully successfully be able to heal. So that is it for my video. I hope it is helpful and useful. So just remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. If you like the video, please drop a like, and if you want to subscribe for future content, please do. But otherwise, that's it for me. You take care. Bye now.